action.
Welcome to Backroads and Banter.
Today we have our special guest, PJ Hennessey with Granite Insurance, who also happens to be my husband.
Yeah, I think you could have led with that.
Yeah.
Thank you. Happy to be here.
We're in professional mode right now.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, definitely looking forward to this, guys.
Thanks for joining us. So first, we usually just do a quick intro.
Sure.
Where are you from? What you've been doing your whole life?
A lot
The
of fun
short
things.
version.
A lot of fun things. Born and raised here in the Boone area, North Carolina high country, much like Melisa. More specifically, I'd say Blowing Rock. So grew up downtown Blowing Rock. Parents had a restaurant for many, many years.
What restaurant?
Cheeseburgers in Paradise.
Oh, really? Okay, you
Yeah.
mentioned that with Mike, but I guess I must have missed that.
Didn't Jimmy Buffett sue?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's how we would start. So
Fun
we,
party hat.
officially the name was Cheeseburgers Bar Paradise Grill after we got sued by Jimmy Buffett.
So, was it always at Tanger?
No, it was at Main Street where the Embers is now for,
Really?
yeah, from like 1993 to 2005.
Yeah.
I was
Okay.
a part of that. I frequented that
Yeah.
place a
Good.
lot.
Establishment. so
I've
to
heard
speak.
that Blowing Rock is way different than it used to be.
Yeah.
Because I moved here
Yes
in
and no.
2009.
Yeah, it's definitely grown, it's changed, modernized and everything. But more or less the restaurant was like Town Tavern is today, so
Okay,
give you an idea of what it was like.
cool.
Yeah.
Are you going to Blowing Rock Elementary?
Yep.
Did you like
Yep.
it?
It was good. Yeah, it was fun. You get to walk uptown every day, and back then you had Sonny's Grill, and they still had the glass bottle sodas
so
and
good.
all that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, like
So when
old
Bo was
school.
little, my little brother, he
Yeah.
went, I totally forgot about that place,
Mhm.
but that was open when we first moved
Yeah.
here.
So good.
Yeah, so you hang out in the park, go to the pool. It was good times.
There was a pool back then too?
Yeah, it's always been there. It's been there as long as I've been alive.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, they've upgraded it and added some fancy stuff, but
Yeah.
I was just living in a cave. I thought they did that pool like 13 years ago.
no, they redid it.
They
about
redid
13
it.
years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, that's what it is.
So, but yeah.
It's a little chilly to swim sometimes, but
Yeah, well, if we'd sneak into the Meadowbrook pool back in the day. If it was too
Oh,
cold, or if it
yeah.
was stormy, we'd go, they
Yeah.
had the indoor pool. So we'd get kicked out and stuff like that. But,
oh,
yeah.
nice.
Yeah, it was fun.
Little rugrats. of
Right.
Yeah.
What else do you
Yeah.
get in trouble with in Blowing Rock back in the day?
Yeah, I mean, just, running through the back alleys of the mean streets and all that, and going through the park and,
Didn't you fill your hot tub with Gatorade one time?
yeah, I mean, that was more
We've
at the
grown.
house, but
Yeah.
yeah,
How?
different, just bored.
That's a lot of Gatorade.
Yeah, it
The
wasn't,
whole thing?
no, it was water and Gatorade, but
Raising boys.
Yeah.
That's what that's called.
just
people.
different things.
You've
Yeah.
grown and matured.
Yeah,
since.
yeah, I haven't done that in 20 years, so, we're good.
Well, I just think about how small the town it would have been back then.
Yeah.
And
Still
I grew
is
up
like
in a
that, so.
small town in Texas, but nothing like Blowing Rock would have been.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Boone is
It's a good place.
completely different too.
Oh, yeah.
Everything's
Completely.
changed, I
Mhm.
feel like.
Yeah, when I was growing up, we would spend Sunday afternoons in Blowing Rock, playing in the park. Like, it was so different than
Yeah.
how it is.
Speaking of the
now.
park, have you seen the new plans?
No.
Have you been down there in the last couple weeks?
Not a couple weeks, I've heard
They
they
have
have,
the,
they're changing things.
Yeah, they have the entire area around the park fenced off.
Mhm.
BPC's doing it, and they're gonna have tennis court, pickleball, climbing wall, what
Oh
else?
my gosh.
I don't know, but it's,
That's a
they're
major
basically
upgrade.
all of that green space that was just grassy
Yeah.
is gonna be developed into park space. It'll be really nice.
Yeah, for sure.
I just hope it doesn't take forever.
Yeah, hopefully not all summer, because that's a big time for the town, so,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure.
They're also planning on closing the parkway
yeah.
this summer.
Yeah, just what we need after Halloween, so.
I know,
Yeah.
that's what I was thinking.
What sections?
I think, like, basically Blowing Rock to Limbo.
Wow.
They wanna get rid of, like, I mean, it needs to be done,
Yeah.
but it should probably wait until we get through our fall,
Yeah.
Mhm.
because we need the tourism, but, yeah,
Agree, I'll endorse that.
yeah. You'll make a call.
Yeah, I'll call my people, you can call your people.
Your people can call it people. Well, PJ, one of the greatest things I think that you have brought to the table, other than your beautiful wife,
That's
for-
the best thing. That's
Yeah,
the best thing.
right.
Yeah.
Precious. For Keller Williams
Mhm.
is your connection with Granite Insurance. And you have been one of our first vendor partners and have been incredible at supporting our agents. And I love Granite Insurance and what they stand for because they're a hometown brand from Granite Falls, Little Granite Falls. So tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, I mean, it's just, a tremendous opportunity. I've been with them 5 years now, and just really, I think there's a lot of cultural alignment between Keller Williams and Granite, and just the uniqueness of it's something everybody needs. That's a lot of things that people don't understand, and just being able to come in and fill that need for people, and help your agents and you guys help us, just through a lot of mutual benefits there, and just what we believe in, how we approach helping our clients is very similar.
Yeah, it's definitely been a win-win.
Yeah, absolutely.
And Granite is growing exponentially
Yeah, I mean,
too, just like we are.
I think there's the local aspect, but we really have become a national brand in a lot of ways and a lot of growth. And, there's growing pains with that, but we're very excited about what that's gonna do for our partnership, for how we can help everybody across the board. And we're not limited to just Boone and Bowling Rock and Granite Falls and Lenore. We can expand and do things anywhere and everywhere. So it's been a lot of fun.
And that's something I think a lot of people don't know, is that you
Yeah.
guys are nationwide.
Yeah, and I mean, people can still look at it and think, oh, well, just a small town, Main Street, your stereotypical insurance agency, but we have people that we work with every day and, all walks of life, all different things that they do, and just having local clients and national clients, it's every day is a new experience and it's a lot of fun.
So how many states are you licensed in now?
All 50.
All 50?
Mhm.
Okay, so you don't have to get riders or whatever you called it.
No, yeah,
Okay.
so we can do it anywhere and everywhere.
When did that change?
We've had that for a while, several years. Obviously, the core focus is still the local community, depending
Yeah.
on what it is. But I talked with somebody last week that's in Hawaii and Alaska and everywhere.
The
So,
time changes affect the times of the calls, but
Yeah,
you always get them.
yeah. So I'll get emails at 2 a.m. and I'm like, well, it's actually 7 o'clock in Hawaii or whatever. So.
What were you doing before you worked for Granite?
So I was an underwriter at a local firm here in Boone as well, and I did that straight out of college. Right,
Okay.
so I went to growing up in Bowling Rock and having my parents had the restaurant background and just kind of business savvy, right? So I was like, okay, well, what am I gonna do with my life? $1 million question.
That's a big question.
And kind of put myself through school, got into app after 2 years at Caldwell, and was just like, I don't know what I want to do.
Who does at that
Really,
age?
but I was like, something business, I'll go to the business school and something will come out of it. And I thought, well, I was like, maybe I want to be in uptown Charlotte and be an investment banker. I was like, yeah, it's not really for me. I took a couple of finance classes and I just hated it. But thought maybe, financial advisor or something like that. But then App State has a great insurance program. And so just started taking some insurance classes and was hearing like everybody loves it, a lot of good people. It's like being able to really be successful without like the sleaziness of finance, so to speak. So really just fell in love with it. And then they also had, 90% job placement doesn't hurt if you major in risk management. And so just started taking those classes and talking to folks and got a job here in the local community. Did it for 4 or 5 years, and after that, first couple of years, really just got tired of sitting behind the desk every day. And there's a lot of different things you can do in insurance. So I was like, well, let's see what else is out there and make that switch. So.
And then you became an actual broker
Yeah.
from underwriting and brokerage. Okay, cool. I think that's interesting that you said you really enjoyed your insurance classes.
I know. It's surprising.
He
Because insurance to me is just like
Same.
Well,
mind-numbingly boring.
Yeah.
yeah.
He
Well,
like
But I
lights
also
up
have
when he talks
zero
about it.
understanding of it. That's why I was glad you got PG on so quick on the podcast, because nobody understands insurance. Well, I
Right.
shouldn't say nobody.
Yeah.
Most people.
Yeah.
They just know they have to have it.
Yeah.
It's
Right.
a requirement, and they're just like, okay, and then they want the cheapest rate, but that's usually not the best
No.
insurance.
Yeah, I mean, the number one thing I say is like you want to make sure you're getting competitive, and you want to compare one option to the next. But ultimately, when you talk about cost, it's the ultimate. You get what you pay for.
Yeah.
I was like, I can do anything to get your cost as low as you want it to be. It was like, but then claim you call me, and I'm like, well, you wanted to save $100 a month or $5 a month or whatever it is. Like now this circumstances happen, and it's like you took that off the table to save money.
Right.
And now all that savings is gone and then some. So that's the biggest thing I see with insurance, is it's just like, it's not one size fits all, it's not everything, it's just in one box. It's very much is like, hey, is this part that we can add or take away? Is this important to you? Do you know this is not covered? Do you want it covered? Okay, well, it's gonna cost this, that, and the other.
Yeah,
And just having those conversations, over and over again, and understanding what people are comfortable with and what they need. And
right.
that's pretty much it in a nutshell.
Yeah. Well, I'll give myself as an example. I think you and I connected, I don't know how many years ago it's been, but I was with Farm Bureau, that's who did my original home, and they did
Your
the bundle and all
Right.
this stuff. And I don't remember exactly what happened. The ball kept on dropping. You know me well enough now.
Yeah,
My expertise is not in
right,
staying on top of my personal things. It's like my whole focus is on my business.
Yeah.
So, I'm very forgetful with stuff like that, especially if it's like a one-time a year thing. Anyways, and my insurance guy was like never responsive, took forever to call back. Like,
Yeah.
I was just over it.
Yeah.
And it's like I have a lot of stuff I have to insure. So you and I sat down and we didn't like go over everything because I didn't want to, because I'm not gonna understand it.
Right.
But I trust you, and
just
I'm like,
keep it at level.
you just tell me what I need,
Yeah,
and then where do I sign?
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's usually that
But I
easy.
think that's what I mean
Yeah.
is like I trust you,
Yeah,
so
Yeah.
I don't necessarily need to understand all of it.
no.
Yeah.
Just
And some people just want the bottom dollar, and some people want to go line by line and understand everything, and then it's everything in between that.
well, I think the one thing you
It's-
caught on mine was that my auto policy was not a commercial auto policy.
Right, yeah, it's like if you
I
have
thought
it,
it was.
and that's like for a lot of realtors or anybody in business, is like, things have to match, right? Like, things have to say, if you don't have it fitting into that, round hole square peg, and something happens, you're gonna be in a bad spot. And it's so much of
Yeah, I
that
had no
is-
idea.
in insurance and real estate is so much as just communication and responding, and then just like attention to detail. And you'd be shocked how many people just completely gloss over that in insurance and everything. So
Yeah.
that's
I
really
think-
what it comes down to.
Well, because there's so much stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, there's so much language
Yeah.
and all that.
I think something that insurance agents and realtors get a lot is kind of like that reputation, that used car salesman reputation, but that's not true for everyone. Like a client first approach is what Granite takes. I mean, whatever is best for the client is what they're gonna get.
Yeah.
And your motto is what? Choice.
Trust you need, choice you deserve.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Exactly.
and that's the thing, it's like people I don't blame people by and large, because insurance companies drill it into people every time you are watching TV. It's, we can help you save money. Now, the insurance companies do that because that's so much of what is driven. It's like, that's not what we're about. It's about you trusting us to give you the best option for what you need to protect yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's just
So
such a
what would you
difference.
say to the people that, because I think most people do the whole bundle thing.
Mhm.
Like, that's how they get wrapped
Yeah.
up with a State Farm or a Farm
Mhm.
Bureau or.
Yeah. And there's nothing wrong with that. I mean,
Allstate.
there's certainly advantages to that. I think where you get into more unique is again, are you the quote unquote perfect scenario for an insurance company? And the way they look at that these days is, a house with kids, 2 cars, maybe a boat or a 4-wheeler, but like good credit, no plan, like just kind of that model American citizens, like, but that's not really, that's hard to find. Anybody will do that. And like where you get unique is like, do you have a
Me.
yacht in Florida or a condo on the coast, or are you renting an Airbnb? Like all of those things, it's like, okay, well now you don't fit in a box for the State Farms and the Farm Bureaus and
Yeah.
all of that. And it's like, then you need to have someone that actually understands what you're looking for.
Yeah.
So,
Carrie, you said you had some good questions for PJ.
Well, one of mine is,
Put him in the hot seat.
oh yeah.
my seat's
So-
already hot, but
Yeah.
Okay. Why Granite Insurance? What was it about Granite Insurance that was, because on that little 321, like driving
Yeah.
up, you have all these little towns and
Yeah.
it's a small business.
Mhm.
I remember growing up was, very small and
Yeah.
has grown
Mhm.
exponentially since you've been with them.
Mhm.
So why Granite?
Yeah, so I think for me personally, it was just knowing the ownership. So it's a family business. The Annis family at the time when I came on was Cameron, our current CEO, his parents, Neil, and Luann, were just really good investors in the RMI program, risk management and insurance program at App at the time I was being there. And just being in Boone, and I actually lived in Hickory for a few years and in Granite Falls for a few years, so just kind of naturally is learning who they are, introducing myself, getting to know them and the people they were, it was just kind of like a no-brainer. It was like, for example, they made insurance fun, like Sam, you said, well, insurance is like watching paint dry, but like, had a career day, and it was like, you go talk to the different people at the booths and all that, and it was like, hey, we're gonna do things a little differently, we're gonna invite you to a ropes course. After the event, I was like, well, this is different, right? And so then they brought out 15 or 20 of us as students, and just, we went through a ropes course, rode a zip line, had a dinner, and it was like, man, this is a lot of fun. Obviously, that's a big part of our agency, and what we specialize in is the adventure and entertainment industry, which is a big draw for me as well. It's like, make something that's, for most people, is boring, different and fun, and that was a big part of
passion
it.
for you.
Yeah,
You
and
know,
so it's
to
like,
explain it.
do I want to be suit and tie, sitting at a desk all day, just doing the same old, Bobby and Jane and 2 kids and a house and stuff? No, that's incredibly boring. You're right. I wouldn't want to do that. But just if they bring uniqueness to it, we take an approach where our clients trust us to give them the right protections at the best price rather than the cheapest price. There's just a big opportunity to advance myself financially, but also have a lot of fun doing it.
That's cool.
Yeah.
How many carriers do y'all have now?
I mean, it depends on what you're talking about. If you're talking about, homeowners and everything in the local community, core, the most that we go to is, 5 or 6. Your Cincinnati Auto Owners, Penn National Travelers, Liberty Mutual, Cincinnati, different ones like that. But, you broaden out and have unique stuff, there's always, unique company. We have hundreds and thousands technically that we could go to if we need to. So it just depends on what it is.
Wow.
Yeah.
I mean, I knew you had a lot, because I think myself personally, I have like 7.
Yeah,
different ones.
yeah, so,
And then be like, PJ, who's on my Tahoe?
right, yeah, so it has to be different, but that's the thing, is like, you don't have to worry about just, oh, we can only put you in this box, we can't help you. It's like, maybe we're not the best option, but we're gonna have a lot of options, and that makes a big difference.
I think that's why it's so important to work with a local agent, a local lender, a local realtor, like somebody that you can call and they'll pick up the phone and
Yeah,
walk you through things instead of getting put,
absolutely, yeah.
like 1-800 number. You actually have somebody you can
Yeah.
contact.
Right.
And knows the area,
Yeah.
knows what
Yeah.
they're dealing with, like he could ride by and look at your house,
Right.
And these days, that's a big thing, because
Yeah.
there's, and insurance companies are getting more and more strict on, the home level, and really anything, but especially like, roof age and.
Yeah, I
That's
definitely
the
want to
biggest
talk about
question.
that
Yeah.
today.
Sure.
Is
Yes.
what are
Yeah.
you seeing, because this is the residential real estate
Mhm.
world,
Mhm.
what are those things that you're seeing that we need to be aware of?
Yeah, I think, roof age is becoming more and more of just a tightening guideline. Say, it used to be 30 years when I first started, now it's crept down to 25, 20, 15, 10 years. So.
Why do you think that is, for the roof specifically?
It's just kind of more of a systemic issue, and it's so much of just situations where, whether it's roofing contractors knocking on doors saying, hey, last summer you had a hailstorm at your house and here's the data for it, just file this with your insurance company. By law and by the way the policy reads, like, insurance company has to handle that with you times, and really what turns into, maybe they need a small patch or a shingle of their roof fixed, and that could be a couple $1,000s, but then the roofing contractors are coming in and saying, no, you guys gotta do the whole thing because of this reason X, Y, Z, and so
And the insurance company's on the hook.
$2,000 problem becomes a $20,000 problem. You expound that to thousands and thousands of people.
Right.
That's millions of dollars, and that's the biggest thing, is they're now saying, well, we see this trend because a roof is 20 years old or 25 years old or whatever. If they haven't replaced it or anything like that, we're losing way too much money on these circumstances. Like, we're just not going to do it anymore. And
Could they not just take away hail?
Yeah, I mean, that's part of it. There's wind and hail exclusions, there's, changing deductibles from $1,000 or $2,500 to 1% of of value of your dwelling, or 2% or 5%, or changing how much they pay from what we call replacement cost to actual cash value, which basically say, well, your roof's 20 years old, brand new, it may cost you 10 grand, but we're gonna depreciate that, and here's $2,000, and kind of that structure.
Okay.
So it's important to have the general rule is some carriers are saying 10 years hard stop in North Carolina right now, some are saying 20, some are saying 25. That goes back to, we have multiple options.
For shingle.
For shingle, yeah, and some for metal, like some are excluding what we call cosmetic damage for metal roofs. So like the actual structural integrity of the roof is fine, but it's got a hailstorm and it's got a bunch of dents and things in it, like they're just not covering that anymore.
Okay.
So a lot of different scenarios.
What else are you seeing besides roofs?
I think rentals, anything, that's a big thing up here, that there's limited markets, because there's so many little things that can go wrong with renters. I mean, because your tenants are coming in, they're, sometimes they're very careful and respectful of the unit, sometimes they don't care and they leave things a mess and there's wear and tear over time. Some things are being left vacant for 3 or 4 months at a time, and small problems become big problems, everything like that.
They consider the liability of that as well?
Yeah, I mean, some won't do hot tubs, some won't do if you allow pets, different things like that. So there's a property aspect, there's a liability aspect. Again, it's just understanding those things, understanding which carriers are to go to, what the costs are.
What happens if you don't, say you have an Airbnb and you don't allow pets, but your renter sneaks in a pet and something happens? Now what?
Yeah, I mean, that kind of goes back to, then it becomes a legal question, right? Does that dog, tear up the furniture, or tear up
Or
the
like, what if
house,
it
or
attacks
they
somebody?
bite somebody,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
It's like, did you do your due diligence? And that's so part of the liability aspect of insurance is, well, yes, I mean, you have that liability unless there's an animal exclusion on there. Like some carriers are saying, we'll offer it, but we're gonna have an animal exclusion. So if that circumstance happens, there's no coverage. Or it's also, well, ideally you wanna be in a situation where you don't have that exclusion on there, so that if it happens, you can still have coverage.
Let's throw it back a little bit.
Okay.
Thank you for all of that, that's very helpful. Where did we meet?
Where did we meet?
Yeah. You tell
We
me.
met at the great and amazing local attraction known as Tootsie Railroad.
Yes.
I knew that was coming.
I was not a can girl. I
No.
sold corn dogs.
Yeah.
I wasn't, the can girls weren't my type, I was.
Good answer.
Yeah.
Good answer.
Real good
I would have thought you would have
Yeah.
met in school or something.
Yeah, I mean, we were,
A
what,
couple
3
of years
apart?
younger than me. Yeah.
Yeah.
You're
so-
younger?
Yeah.
Oh.
He seems
Yeah,
much
I know.
older.
You're
You're
a
a
Cradle
cougar.
robber.
Oh.
Life's
Yeah.
taking a toll on me, and it's surprising, but.
We were friends for a long time.
Yeah, I mean, I think 3 years apart, we actually ran in a lot of the similar
Same
circles. Like one of
circles.
your best friends was the older brother of one of my best friends, and so there's probably a lot of times where we were
Overlapping,
at the
hanging
same
out.
place,
Yeah.
but we may have really just never even made the connection until.
We
until
worked
Tootsie,
at the
so.
same insurance firm.
Yeah,
for a
and my
while.
first job, that was a big reason why I got the job was because Melisa was already there. But
Yeah, that's
it's a
right.
Big, long history, yeah.
Yeah.
That's cool.
I owe it all to you,
Oh, shush,
Yeah.
that's not true.
so,
I'm so proud of you.
thank you.
Aw,
Oh,
you're
you're
adorable.
Sweet. I love it. Sweet. So, let me go back. I want to ask kind of a growing up question. Would you have ever thought the guy that was putting Gatorade into the hot tub would be an insurance? Like, did you like?
No, I mean, not growing up, I thought business something.
Yeah.
Obviously at the restaurant background, I saw myself maybe inheriting that, and obviously life takes you in different tosses and turns and different things, and, never was like, yeah, insurance agent, right? Like that's,
Yeah.
but at the same time, it's business, yes, insurance specifically, no.
What's a fun fact about you, PJ, that no one knows?
No one
PJ.
knows.
Well, Melissa may know, but like we
A
don't.
specific relative.
That's always the go-to.
Yeah.
So, my great uncle was Charlie Watts, who was the drummer of the Rolling Stones.
Oh, cool.
Nice.
Yeah.
We've got
So
like
that's a nice one.
signed
Yeah, so
drumsticks
my,
and tickets,
cool.
so.
So his wife was my grandma's sister. So that's how,
That's wild.
going back to, immigrated from the UK in the 50s, and so they, the others stuck there, and that's kind of where that lineage lived. So
Wow,
yeah.
that's pretty.
Have they made a movie on the Rolling Stones yet?
No.
Not like
Oh, wow.
not
They
like a
should.
good. There's a lot of documentaries and stuff, but
Yeah.
they need to.
They need to.
Yeah,
Those,
for sure.
those are some of my favorite movies. Like the
Yeah.
one about Queen was so good, and
Mhm.
what's the other one that they did last year?
They did one on Elvis.
Yeah.
That
Yeah,
was great.
Elvis was.
That
I
was
love the
really good.
Elvis one. I thought it was great.
I
Yeah,
thought so
music's
too.
just not the same anymore. So
No,
No,
it's
no,
not.
totally not. Totally not.
We're in here
Listen.
singing Booty Drop.
I was about to booty works.
Or Booty, whatever it's called. I don't even know the name of it. Booty
Slim
Drop.
Shady, you only get one shot.
Got one shot. Listen, that on repeat.
I'll add that teaser for
Yeah.
this episode.
Yeah.
Love
I'll
that.
circle around. PJ, what is the most interesting, like, sort of claim that you've had, no names or anything like that, but what is a
Ooh, good
certain
question.
situation? Was it Sam's?
I was about to say there's a
Oh, here we
there's
go.
been a boat a time or two that got hit when it was just sitting.
Not naming names.
But I don't know who it was. But yeah, I mean we've had
Was that really your most interesting claim?
I know. I mean I'm trying to think.
Most
You put me on the
difficult?
spot there.
He once received a picture of a man who fell off of a porch
yeah,
swing,
so
and
the-
his proof
A
that he
porch
got
what?
hurt, a porch swing,
Okay.
like front porch swing, and his proof that he was hurt was literally had somebody take a picture of him, and he was on the ground like,
Yeah,
Send it to
it wasn't
PJ.
staged at all. Yeah, I mean, it's kind of the rental, I do a lot of the rentals in the area, and those always have unique circumstances. That was one where there was a rental, and the guy was sitting on the porch swing, and the chain broke, and I guess they decided to make a dramatic photographic evidence for possible liability, so that was a fun
Nice.
one. Yeah, I mean, I've had the ones where had a house completely burned down because their renters had a cigar in the hot tub, and they put the cigar out in the mulch, and
Really?
it smoldered for 3 or 4 days.
checked
and
out
Not
without
good.
telling
Yeah.
anybody.
Yeah, and then
Is
obviously.
that up here?
Mhm.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
feel like I heard about
Yeah,
He
I'm
talked
sure.
about
was
it at a meeting.
It was noteworthy at the time.
Sitting in a gated subdivision up here.
Not like a boat though.
Nothing like a boat. Yeah, obviously we're in the adventure world, so
Wasn't it
a
called
lot
like
of-
Ramble something? I don't remember any specifics.
ramble out.
I don't know,
that.
it's
I
so
don't know,
weird.
it's like the worst year of my life.
Yeah.
So, like, here's another one. So where's your favorite place that you visited
Mhm.
because of Granite Insurance? With them being, like,
Yeah,
they-
I didn't realize you traveled so much for work.
yeah,
Yeah, so that's with kind of, again, shifting from the local community to doing our adventure stuff. It gave me the opportunity to just be involved with a lot of different organizations and associations. And so like work travel specifically, I'm going to 4 or 5 different places a year, different conferences. So far this year I've been to Chattanooga and Salt Lake City, and Salt Lake City was beautiful and very, very cool. Went to San Diego last year, and those are kind of all like sitting in a conference room all day doing work. But then our favorite place was last year. Melissa and I got to go to Banff as part of a
Somewhere in
Oh,
kind of a
nice.
reward from one of the insurance companies, and that was just by far the best place we've ever been.
And
So,
Granite met a specific goal, and we took a company-wide cruise
yeah,
to the
that was
Bahamas,
fun as well.
and that was fun. So let's do it,
Awesome.
guys.
Yeah.
I know, right?
Bunch of realtors
Yeah,
on a
you
boat.
get the realtor cruise going on,
Oh,
gosh.
ramble on.
That's what you call a
scary.
booze cruise.
Yeah,
Cruise.
yeah.
That's
We
a
would
little
be on
scary.
Carnival
We'll
for
get
sure
you on
as
the
well.
we'll get you on the tiki pub and
Yeah.
on the pontoon.
That's a little scary.
Would we
to
all make
think
it
about.
back, you think?
Yeah, well, we might have to be rescued, but we'll make it back.
Yeah.
What's the most unique adventure business that you are insuring?
Oh, well, I think the one I've seen so far this year, and I'm still working on it, is a fighter jet experience.
Wow.
So retired Air Force pilot, sort of wanting to open a experience in Las Vegas, where you can basically get in and sign a waiver and sign your life away and get in and go and have that experience of being in a fighter jet for
That's
30 minutes.
crazy.
We know
I
an
wonder how much
agent
that's gonna
that
cost.
would
It's
love
gonna be a
that.
lot. It's gonna be
Oh, yes.
probably
Carolyn.
6 figures. And then there's one where you can drive a tank or test drive a tank and shoot any number of weapons you can think of.
Wow.
Be very
I
cathartic,
can so
like-
see you doing that. That's like
Yeah.
so up your alley.
Who needs a break room when you can go do all that
Right.
kind of stuff?
Yeah. So those are fun.
You'll
And
have to have
That's
Caroline
cool.
sign up for that.
Yeah,
She
absolutely.
would
See,
love
insurance
that.
can be fun.
that's what I
Yeah.
mean. Yeah. So I wouldn't do it every day, when you can go, you know, and then I gotta say, hey, I gotta go to Hawaii, I gotta go ride that zip line, I gotta go do those things, like I gotta see it in person.
You gotta do it.
Rough life,
Yeah.
rough life.
Yeah.
I love it,
So.
love it. That's so cool. Such a cool thing. So, what is the plan for you for the rest of the day, PJ? I know you're wrapping up with us, so like it's the day in the life, so like,
Yeah.
what's your plan the rest of the day?
Yeah, I mean, my normal day, you know, from here, I'll just grab some lunch, head back to the office, just, you know, work for a couple hours and then head on home to you. My day-to-day on the normal weekdays, not
Pretty
too crazy.
structured, know what to
Um,
expect,
Yeah,
which is
I
nice.
like
but some
structure, I
days
like
are-
organization. I'll get up and go to the gym and go to the office and,
No pickleball today?
no, I've gotten away from it a little bit, honestly.
Really?
Yeah.
He's,
I'm shocked.
he's been
I'm
getting up
trying
at
to get
6 and
into
going to
it.
the gym
Yeah.
every day.
Wow,
What gym?
Just a rec center.
Oh,
Yeah, every morning, until they
nice.
start the day.
me too.
I need to hop on that.
Yeah, I'll do that. I do that on Tuesday and Thursday mornings.
There
I
you
go work out.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Good
I need
start.
to do it every day, but Chris wants his coffee time. That's what he
Yeah.
calls it.
Mhm.
So we sit and have coffee in the mornings.
One last thing, so, you grew up in Blowing Rock.
Mhm.
Q is the king of Blowing Rock.
So he thinks.
You have,
So-
yeah,
I
so
love that. I
you
love that, PJ.
have had run-ins with him at a
Uh-huh.
coffee shop, and
Yeah.
explain how that went down, because it was almost like a turf war.
Yes, I mean, for a while I was heading up the young professionals over there, and our kind of designated meeting spot is Camp Coffee, right there on Main Street. And good old Big Mike has kind of decided that that upper floor, that little nook room with the couches and the chairs is his, and anybody else that uses it needs to get out. So, you know, there's one morning where I probably only met him maybe once or twice, and he, you know, I was sitting there chatting with a few people, and he comes in and says, "You're in my chair, you get up and get out," and this whole thing. At the time, I was like, "Is this guy serious?"
He loves you.
But yeah, no,
Did he know who you were?
yeah,
Oh, so
But-
he just
yeah.
messed around.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's
was
just
like,
gotta push a button.
But that was
you know?
like, you know, the second time I met him.
He was
outside, so-
feeling you out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Should have just told him to come sit on your lap.
yeah, he's a teddy bear. He's fine.
I've sat in his chair before.
Right? Yeah. Just, you're making me move, Mike. Come on.
On our
Yeah.
last episode, we talked about how we've all at some point ended up at Mike's house, and you have too.
Yeah. Well, that
So-
was your idea. Just you know.
Hey,
it was your
That
idea.
was Keller Williams.
It was a weird night.
It was a weird night, Kel.
Again,
So-
young professionals brings it out in Mike, because anytime he feels like he's getting aged out, he needs to be making sure he's part of it.
Yeah,
Yeah. I'll go on the record with that, so.
love that.
Nice
Love that,
knowing you.
PJ. That's awesome.
Thank you.
Oh, thank you guys. Let's get a
Thank you
little
for
chat.
being here.
Yeah.
We all just love you. I
Yeah,
think
Yeah.
that's
Me
the
too.
general consensus
Yeah.
around here.
love you, love
Trying to
Granite
live up to it.
Insurance
Yeah.
and what they stand for, and I just think it's incredible that you partnered with such a great company. That
Absolutely.
is
It's important.
That
yeah,
you're thankful
makes a difference.
Yeah.
that we're both super happy in our careers.
Mhm.
Yeah,
We love
y'all
where
are
we
the
are.
sweetest.
I know.
Doors.
I like the little dream team.
Yeah.
There you go.
Power couple.
Yeah.
I need to actually talk to you at some point.
Okay.
I kept forgetting to do my renewal on my umbrella policy.
Well, that's the thing, you gotta do it. I was like, well,
I don't
help you, but
wanna.
you gotta do it. Yeah. So, we'll
Renee
keep
that
track.
insurance.
Yeah.
So, anyway, thank you, PJ.
Thanks, guys.
That's it this week for
Alright.
Backroads and Banter.
And we'll see you next week.
See ya.